Hi, I'm Marvin Rees, Mayor of Bristol, and I'm speaking to you today as I understand your college will be holding a series of activities to celebrate Black History Month. Now, I am allegedly the first person of Black African heritage to be directly elected mayor of any major European city. My deputy mayor is the first Rasta cabinet member deputy mayor in Europe. Now, since getting elected, we've worked tirelessly to support African and Asian heritage people and also working class people in Bristol to progress in the face of many structural challenges. Now, I stood for mayor because of my commitment to try to make the world fairer, to change the way the city works. Now, this change has included a change to the city's conversation from avoiding to acknowledging issues of race. We now confront the inequalities that we see around us, which actually is something a bit of a step forward for Bristol. Now, Black History Month is important because we want our history to be intellectually rigorous, and by that I mean accurate, insightful and nuanced. And this means countering the institutional biases that have ignored, underplayed or distorted Black people's place in history. Now, it's important to understand it's not about eliminating or changing history, it's about doing history better by telling the full story of how our city and our world become the thing it is today. You know, the Runnymede Trust ranked Bristol as the 7th worst area in England for racial inequality in 2015. 2 years later, they identified that ethnic minorities in Bristol experience greater disadvantage than in England and Wales as a whole in education, employment, and this is particularly so for Black African people. Now, overcoming these disadvantages is hard. It's complicated by the fact that we live in one of the most socially immobile countries in the OECD. That means that your parental wealth predicts your life chances before all other factors. That social immobility shapes our class structure, but it also locks historical racial inequalities into the lives of children born today. So this is what I'd offer you in some form of conclusion. First, approach race inequality with honesty and without sensitivity. It is what it is. It's not about personal attacks or wokeness. It's about describing the world the way it is. Second, be intentional about recognizing and tackling it. We don't overcome structural discrimination, structural racism, just because we think we are, or we think we are collectively nice people. It happens when we recognize it and do it on purpose. We have to address questions of power and inequality. And the third is this: let's recognize it's complicated. White privilege is real, but my white mum, along with many other millions of white people, have not led lives that we would come close to describing as privileged. And all that is true at the same time. So if we can approach it with some graciousness, with some listening ear and some nuance, we'll be in a stronger rather than weaker position to make progress.